So welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening again, and I welcome all of you on behalf of Edureka for this session on the PMP refresher. And we are going to spend almost 6 hours together refreshing some topics of the PMP, which you might have studied earlier, or even if you have not studied, this course is going to give you a quick and a very good overview of what this PMP is all about. What are the course structure, what are the different topics, and what are the tips and tricks to crack this examination, and also most importantly, demystifying some of the myths about the PMP examination. So I'm sure we are going to have a very good session, and I wish and all the best for everyone for the session. And let's get started with this. Let's move ahead and quick introduction about myself, your host and your trainer for the day. I'm Nishant Shukla. I'm sure you must have seen my profile there. I come with close to 23 years of experience and started working as a techie. Spend a good amount of time in technologies, various domains, but gradually started moving to various project management positions. And when you move into the project management, it becomes more like a generic thing. So I worked on the project management and program management, and also worked on portfolio management. And along with my job, I also used to do training. So for past 11 years, I have trained close to 7,000 people across the globe, and I've done trainings for some of the most reputed organizations in the world. If you want to know more about myself, I am there on the LinkedIn. I have my own page on Facebook. You can go there and you can get more details about it. But the journey was pretty interesting. It's been more than 2 decades, and the journey was very interesting because training is something that I always passionate about. I enjoyed giving training on different topics. I do PMP, I do various customized project management, process transformation, process management, leadership, and soft skills programs as well. And well, that's all about myself. As I told you, I'm all there on the LinkedIn and Facebook. In case if you want to stay in touch, remain in touch for any reason, your PMP exam preparation or any career guidance, you can reach out to me. My contact details are all available there over the net. And you can reach out to the support team of Edureka as well. They will connect you with me, and I'll be able to help you with any queries that you might have. And talking about the topics that we are going to cover today. So it's a very interesting agenda that we have, and I have tried to make it short and crisp as well. We are going to talk about the PMI and PMP, introduction of PMI and PMP, and we will discuss the myths about the PMP examination. Lot of myths. In fact, I have seen some of the people who have cleared the PMP examination, even they have some of the wrong information about the examination, or the way it is conducted, the way participants or the people who have taken the examination are getting the result. Okay. So we are all good to move ahead with our agenda. And about PMI, so PMI is Project Management Institute, which is a not-for-profit association, and it was established in 1969. Since then, PMI has been working an upliftment of the project management community. So it's not that before 1969 or before PMI or the PMBOK came into existence, there were no projects, or the projects were not getting on time, completed on time. There were projects, there were programs, and there were huge projects which actually were still being completed within time, within cost, and within scope. But what PMI did is they brought a framework which helped in bringing the standardization in the project management, the way project was being managed. So PMI is offering various certifications, and those certifications are very well accepted and received and taken by all the industries across the globe. Okay? And if you look at this slide, it talks about all the certifications that PMI has. They have added few more certifications. So you have PMP, you have CAPM, Program Management Professional, which is PGMP, Portfolio Management Professional, which is PFMP, Agile Certified Practitioner, which is PMI ACP, Scheduling Professional, Risk Management Professional, and the most prominent and the most important certification from all this is PMP. There are more than 654,000 project management professionals across the globe, across the industries. It is uh, it is assumed that this number is growing at the rate of 12 to 15% every year. There are hundreds and thousands of active members of PMI across the globe. And eligibility criteria for each of these credentials that you see on the screen are different. So one of the things that people normally, perceive this is that this is a certification for the people who are in IT, or this is the certification which will be useful for people in construction industry. But that is not true. Anywhere, wherever you can find an element of the project, you will have to use project management. And wherever you use project management, your PMP certification, your PMP credential that we talk about is having a very significant value. So PMP certification or PMP credentials is accepted by all the industries, be it manufacturing, banking, finance, operations, construction, across the globe. PMI has presence in more than 170 countries, and in fact, PMI has recently done a study where they identified some of the areas, some of the industries where PMP is going to grow a lot in future. So, okay, Joshin, I think there are some technical difficulties. We will keep monitoring, and in case if we have something, our support team is monitoring it. They will try to rectify it on the background. In case if you miss some of the part due to any technical difficulties from your side, you can always go through the recording, which will be uploaded in some time after the session gets over. Okay. So we were talking about this PMP certification. Let us understand what is a prerequisite for this PMP. So there are two different categories. If you are a degree holder, if you hold a bachelor's degree or engineering degree or any of the global equivalent of that, you need to have 4,500 hours of project management experience, which must come from minimum 36 months of experience. How these hours are calculated is something I will tell you when we go to this process groups in the PMBOK. But to gain this experience or to be able to go for this PMP, to apply for the PMP examination, you need not to be a designated project manager. You could have worked at any position, any role in the project. Suppose your team size is 100 and you are the junior most person in the team doing any coding or doing any supervision activity. But you are contributing towards a project. You're doing some work which is a part of a project. So whatever amount of time you're spending working on that project, that will be considered as your project management experience. So there is a predefined format for that. When you go to PMI website, you can go through that application form, and you need to give this information that how much time or how many hours of effort you have put in against each of the activities, and that activity falls in which process group. So there are 5 process group: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing. And the total amount of time that you need to accumulate is 4,500 hours. In case if you do not have a degree, you have just a diploma or any associate degree or global equivalent, then you need to have 7,500 hours of project management experience. And this experience must be from last 8 years. For example, you are applying for the PMP examination tomorrow in 2015. And you specify that, okay, I worked on a project from 2001 to 2002. PMI is not going to accept that. So whatever experience you document in the application form, that must be from last 8 years only. You cannot go beyond that. In case if you do that, PMI holds a right to reject that application. Okay, and out of all these applications, out of all this application that PMI receive, they pick up 20% of these applications for audit, and 20% applications are picked up randomly. So if your application is picked up for audit, then whatever experience you have documented or you have provided in the form, PMI is going to ask you to show you a proof of that. You need to give the written evidence, and there is a predefined format for that. PMI is going to make you aware of the process. You need to fill that up, do the formalities, submit these documents, hard copies of the documents to PMI, and then PMI is going to accept that or reject that or take any action on that. Once your application is accepted, then you can go and book your examination. So in the next slide, I'm going to take you through the detailed process and the steps that you need to go through in order to become a PMP. These are the charges that you have. If you opt for computer-based testing, then depending on your PMI membership status, you may have to pay $405 or $555. So PMI membership is separate from that. PMI membership, you can apply for it, and you need to pay $139 to become a PMI member. And once you become a PMI member, then you can, once you become a PMI member, then if you go and apply for the examination, the fee will be $405. So there are some areas where the facility of paper-based testing is also available. In case if you opt for paper-based testing, then the fee is going to be $250 for PMI members and $400 for non-members. In case if anyone failed in the first attempt or not able to clear the examination in the first attempt, that person will get opportunity after 30 days time to reappear to go for the examination again, and the re-examination fee is $275. In case you are no longer a member at the time of re-examination, then you will have to shell out a fee of $375. And in case of paper-based, it is $150 and $300 respectively. So all these details are available in detail on the PMI website. You can go to www.pmi.org, go to the certification section, look for PMP certification, and go through your PMP handbook. So PMP handbook is going to give you complete detail of what are the prerequisites, how you should apply for it, how you should fill up the form, and all the details. After this session gets over, when you're going to receive the mail, I will ensure that the link to PMP handbook is added into that mailer, so all of you can access it directly. Alternatively, you can go to our website, Edureka, and go to the PMP page. There also you will get this important links to the website. Okay, moving on to the next PMP examination pattern. So PMP examination is a computer-based examination, and across the globe it is conducted in Prometric centers. There are no other centers other than Prometric, so you will have to go there. There are certain centers you can check with the PMI. There might be some region-specific or country-specific centers available as well, and you need to check with the PMI whether the facility of paper-based examination available in your vicinity or not. So computer-based examinations are conducted in Prometric centers, and they're all objective type questions. Each question will have 4 options, and only one answer will be the correct one. There are 200 multiple choice questions which are mixed randomly across the process groups, and the time you're going to get is 4 hours. So on an average, you get approximately 1 minute and 8 to 9 seconds for 200 questions, because in 240 minutes you need to answer 200 questions. Some of the questions will be smart, very short questions, 1 or 2 liners. Some of the questions will be sort of paragraphs, and there are all 80% of the questions are scenario based questions. And out of these 200 questions, 175 questions are marked for the final marking, and remaining 25 questions are the pre-test questions. So how this concept of pre-test question and final marking question come into the picture? The PMI has, actually no one in the world knows that how many versions of the question paper PMI has. These question papers are developed by the professionals across the globe, and PMI keep on adding or removing questions from that. Before any question gets included into examination, PMI wants to ensure that the level of complexity and difficulty is appropriate in each of the question. So before they add it into the final marking question, they will probably do a sampling of that. They will add it up to the 100 question papers, and they will see how people are responding to that. If out of 100 people, let's say any pre-test question, out of 100 people who were chosen to check for this question, all of them fail to give the correct answer, then PMI will assume that okay, it is very difficult, it's too complex, and they may exclude it from the final marking question. They may not include it into the final question paper in future. Suppose there is a question which is relatively easy, and all 100 people or more than 90 people or 95 people are able to answer that easily. Then again, PMI may rule out including that question in the final marking question in future. So they have their own way of checking. No one knows that what criteria they use, what algorithm they use, but they have their own way of checking the complexity of the question. So this is a very important point, because people often get confused that are we going to are we going to get any notification, or can we see which of the questions are pre-test question and which of the questions are final marking questions? No. When you go for the examination, you will have to take all those 200 questions with the same level of seriousness and same level of attention you need to pay to all 200 questions, because you will have no idea which one is a final marking and which one is a pre-test question. And there is no negative marking in the examination. This examination is developed by the groups of individuals from around the globe who hold the PMP credentials and who are volunteers working with the PMI. And these people are from different industries, not necessarily only from IT or only from construction. No, these people are from all the industries. And when you go for the examination, you take the examination. Okay, when you take the examination, you will get if it is a computer-based examination, you will get the result immediately within a minute's time on the screen. After the question is submitted, the question paper is submitted, they will tell you whether you have cleared it or not. And then within maximum 2 months time, depending on the geographical location where you are, which country you are, you will receive a hard copy of the certificate from the PMI. That is a maximum time frame. Generally, I received it in 2 weeks time. Okay, so there is a question, and Mr. Sanjeev is asking, will we be getting PDU credit for this webinar? Can we claim in PMI website? Yes, if you are a PMP, you are going to get 6 PDUs, and for that you need to complete the entire session, and then you're going to receive these PDUs, which can be useful for you to renew your PMI credentials. Those who are not PMP, we will talk about, we'll discuss about what is PDU and when and how you need it and how you're going to use it in the future. And moving to the next topic, which is very, very important, is myths about the PMP examination. So first is aspirants need 35 PDUs to apply for the examination. No, the terminology is wrong. You don't need 35 PDUs to apply for the PMP exam, but you need 35 contact hours. Once you take the training, which is a 4 days PMP exam preparation workshop, you do this training. At end of this training, you're going to receive a certificate which will give you 35 contact hours. Those contact hours are required for you to be eligible to become eligible to apply for the PMP examination. And once you apply for the exam and you clear it and you become PMP credential holder, then you need to maintain that credential and for that you need to earn 60 PDUs over a period of 3 years time. Okay, PDU stands for Professional Development Unit, and each hour spent in any project management activity recognized by PMI is going to give you 1 PDU. So that's about the PDUs here. And Next point here is the passing scores for PMP examination. Until sometime few years back, till 2006, November 2005, PMI used to calculate the percentage. They used to calculate the percentage to decide whether any participant has cleared the exam or not. But they stopped this approach from November 2005 and they started providing the grades. Each of the per question in this examination has a different value, will have a different weightage depending on the complexity of the question. And the way they check the result is they do an analysis of that. So it becomes a sort of psychometric analysis to calculate, to check how comfortable the person is in taking this complex examination. Okay, so let me just give a look at the question. There are a few questions coming here. Okay, Lee Adams is asking, if you're not a PMP yet and you are taking a class for the pre-cert plus this webinar, do the extra hours add up to anything? No. Unfortunately, no. You will have to go for a specific PMP exam preparation workshop. This is just a PMP refresher, and this is going to serve different purpose of the different people. Those who have completed their PMP examination, they're already PMP credential holder, they are going to get 6 videos. But those who are not and who have done some kind of training in past, so this is going to give them a good refresher so they can brush up their topics before they take up the examination. And those who have not done any certification, any training in this one, this session is going to give them a complete overview of what it takes to be PMP. Okay, and Mr. Imran is asking, I want to submit my application for PMP. Okay, I want to become PMI member after my application is approved. You need not to wait for approval of your application. In fact, I would suggest that first you become PMI member and then you apply for it. So of course, you're going to get some benefits in terms of application rebate on the application fee, but there are a lot of other benefits as well. You will get access to a lot of free resources. You will be able to download certain things, certain documents from there. You also get access to their forums, which can be quite useful. Okay, Shanti is asking, okay, I can understand, Shanti, you are at work, but after this session gets over, the recording will be made available to everyone, and it will be uploaded on the blog section of Edureka website, and you all will receive a link to this for this webinar, recording of the webinar, which you can go through later. And in case if you have any questions in future, feel free to contact our support team, and we'll ensure that it is being answered. Okay, and Shiv Kumar is asking, is PMI membership fees for lifetime? No, Shiv Kumar, it is only for 1 year. PMI membership is $139, which is applicable for, the membership is for 1 year. Okay, so moving to the next topic is we are talking about the PMP examination score. So as I told you, there are no percentage given. It's not that each question carries 1 mark and you need to score some 105 or 106 marks to clear the examination. No, that is not the way. It's a sort of psychometric assessment, and PMI uses some algorithm to check whether the participant has cleared or not, and also to define the grades. So the grades are below proficient, proficient, and moderate proficient. Okay, and another point is, people say that to clear the PMP examination, you must memorize everything that is there. If anyone comes and any person says that, I have a photographic memory, I just need to read through this PMBOK cover to cover and I'll be able to clear that. No, the likelihood of that person failing the examination is going to be very high. PMI expects you to understand the concept. Okay, there are more than 516 ITTOs in PMBOK guide, in the 5th edition of PMBOK guide. And memorizing all these ITTOs is not going to help you. In fact, it becomes very difficult also to memorize, because then there are not just ITTOs, there are a lot of other things also. But when you go for the PMP exam, you'll see that around 80% of the questions are scenario-based question. you will be given a scenario where you will be playing the role of a project manager, and then based on the situation and based on the guidelines of PMI, which are given in the PMBOK guide, you need to take a decision. Of course, there will be few questions where they will specifically ask you whether what is the input to this process, or which of the following is a tool or technique in a particular process. There would be few questions like that, but for that you can actually you can apply you can create some memory mind maps here, and you need to apply certain logics here. What are the logics? We are going to talk about that in some time. And these are the myths, some of the myths, not all the myths, but some of the myths about the PMP examination. And I suggest everyone that when you are preparing for the PMP examination, do not rely on the information that you may get from the different sources. Even if the person is PMP, but I would still suggest you go to pmi.org and clarify your doubts here. Get hold of PMP handbook. That will give answer to most of your questions. If you still have any question, you can always reach out to me, or you can reach out to the support team of Edureka. Alternatively, you can also write to PMI at info@pmi.org, and they will respond to your query. And let me just have a look at this question. Imran is asking, in case I get my application rejected, then I won't get any benefit of being a member. The main purpose is to get PMP credential. Imran, what I can suggest is after the session, you can drop in a mail to me. You can reach out to me. I will share my contact details, and you can give me a detail of the kind of experience you have, and I will we can have a discussion, offline discussion. I will guide you how to fill up the form in case if you are eligible for the PMP examination. So the likelihood of your application getting rejected will be minimized, but provided you fulfill the minimum criteria to become eligible for the examination. Okay. With this, we move on to the next topic, which is a question which I have seen everyone ask, that how much time I should spend in preparing for the examination, how long it will take to prepare for the examination. A couple of weeks back, I actually came across a question where a person asked that one of that person's friend prepared for the PMP examination just for 1 week, and he cleared the examination. Of course, that person might be a super genius, and you can clear that. There is nothing is called impossible in this world. But I would suggest that you prepare a plan. You need to prepare a strategy how you're going to clear the PMP examination. And for that, I have prepared this slide, which will be quite useful, quite helpful. So what you see here on the screen is a complete roadmap how you should go about it. So first step that I suggest, that I tell everyone, is you must become a PMI member first. There are a lot of benefits of becoming a PMI member. You can also, when you apply for the PMI membership, you can also buy the membership of your local PMI chapter, because this will help you connect with the other PMPs in your vicinity. This is good from the networking purpose, and also you will get access to the PMBOK guide. After you become PMI member, you will be able to download the PMBOK guide, the latest edition of PMBOK guide. So what is PMBOK guide? If you are not aware of that, we are going to cover that topic as well. So when you get this PMI membership, you are going to get this PMBOK guide, which will be exclusively for you. It will come with your name and your PMI ID, and that will come handy when you go for the training. It will be good if you can just go through it before you attend the training. So you use this training as a session where you can clarify your doubts. And after you become the PMI member, then you attend the PMP exam preparation training, which is 35, which is going to give you the 35 contact hours training. So that training is, in some people prefer a continuous 4-day training. Some people prefer 2 weekends training. Some, like in Edureka, we have a training which is split across 4 weekends, because people may not be able to pull out full 9 hours time every day. So we have split this into 4-hour session, which will go on for 4 weekends. Okay. So after you complete the training, you're going to receive a 35 contact hour certificate, which will make you eligible to apply for the PMP examination. And then you go ahead and apply, submit your application. I would suggest that you submit this application online on the PMI website. Once you submit the application, PMI is going to take some time, which may be maximum from 1 to 3 weeks, depending on the information that you have entered there. They are going to verify that, and after few days of submission of your application, PMI will come back to you saying that your application, your credentials have been verified, have been checked, and you are eligible, and then they will ask you to make the payment. And if you have taken the PMI membership, then you need to pay $405 of the examination fee. The moment you submit your fee and your payment is accepted, you need to use your credit card, international credit card, to make the payment. The moment it is accepted, at that time you will be notified whether your application has been picked up for audit or not. If your application is not picked up for audit, the entire process of submitting the application and approval will take maximum a week's time. Generally 5 business days, so 1 calendar week. If it picked up for audit, then depending on with what speed you submit all the requirements, you fulfill the client needs. So you are going to get 90 days time to complete the audit requirement and audit process. At that time, you need to whatever experience you have mentioned or document in the application form, you need to give a proof, provide a proof of that. So when you submit your form, you need to give a reference of any person who worked with you in that particular project, what you have mentioned in the form, and you need to get a written hard copy of the form filled by that reference and submit it to PMI. So PMI will make you aware of the process. They will inform you about the detailed process that you need to follow, and once you fulfill all the audit requirement, your application will be reviewed and they will approve or reject depending on the fulfillment of the requirement. If your application is rejected, PMI is going to deduct $100 from that and will refund you $305. $100 is towards the administrative expenses. If your application is approved, then you're going to receive a link from PMI saying that your application has been accepted. You go ahead and schedule your examination. So the day you receive that email from PMI, from that day you're going to get 1 year's time to clear the PMP examination. Okay, so Anthony is asking, can I download the slides? After the session is over, the slides will be uploaded on your SlideShare, and the recording will also be available there. You can refer to these slides here. In case if you have any further question, you can always reach out to us. And Sanjeev is asking a question. Okay. Yes, Sanjeev. So what Sanjeev is saying is, I got selected for audit, and as part of the audit document, I got a PDF already prepared by the PMI. Yes, so that is the format in which you need to fill up the information and get it signed by your manager. Yes, generally that is that's the thing that you need. Okay, John, I'm coming to that part. I'll just come to that part. Okay, so Sanjeev, you need to check with the PMI. I'm sure PMI must have informed you. So if they need anything extra, for example, if you said that you work in a ABC company from 2009 to 2011, and you worked on a project during that time, all you need to do is fill up a form which you receive from the PMI, get it signed by your manager or any stakeholder whose reference you gave while submitting the application, and submit to PMI. In case PMI has any doubt about that document, they may come back to you and ask you to submit any other proof like your experience certificate. Generally, they don't ask it. Okay, and it is quite subjective. I have not seen in many cases PMI going to that level of detail. So I think if that information is correct as per PMI guidelines, then that should suffice. Okay. So once your application is approved and you receive the mail, go ahead and block the examination day. So you can go to the Prometric website and block the date, and I suggest around 110, 120 to 140 hours of studies for the PMP examination. Now, depending on whatever amount of time you can pull out every day, you need to see whether you can do this in 30 days time, you need to do this in 45 days time, or 60 days time. That is completely on your schedule, that is completely on your availability. But I would strongly suggest, if you are planning to study 1 hour every day, don't do that. The minimum time you must take out to prepare to study every day is 2 hours, because it's not that you will open the book, you'll open your study material, and right from that moment you will be completely engrossed into that. It takes some time to get into that rhythm. So I suggest you pull out at least 2 hours every day with some additional time during the weekends. So the ideal time between the training and your scheduling the examination and taking the examination must not exceed 8 weeks. That's the ideal time. But of course, it is subjective depending on your availability, depending on your schedule at your workplace. You can block it. But the important point is, when you are going to take the examination, make sure 2 weeks before that the momentum of the studies is very high. And how you should prepare for the examination is, this is the area where normally people make some mistake. What they do is, right from the day one, they jump to the mock test or mock questions. No, don't do that. I will sincerely suggest that first you focus only on studying, learning the concept, understanding the concept, and go through all the chapters of the PMBOK guide and use some additional reference material as well. And once you have done that, then you start working. Once you have done one cycle of reading, and that is the time you should start picking up the mock test and you should start doing the questions there. So we are going to talk about that in detail when we move to the later topics here. So after you have done your studies for 4 to 6 weeks, I think you should be ready to take the examination. You need to go ahead and take the exam, and I'm sure you will be able to clear it in first attempt. And once you clear that, you will earn that credential, and then you need to maintain it. So the validity of this PMP credential is 3 years, and you need to renew it after every 3 years. And during the 3 years time, you need to earn 60 PDUs to renew that PMP certification. So if you look at the lower side of this slide, this is the area where Edureka is going to provide you help and support. Right from taking up the training till taking you through your audit process and application assistance in application filling up, and then your personalized guidance plan by SME. Our SMEs will guide you when you attend the training here, because we will be able to keep a track or keep a tab on each person's ability and the score, and also their learning experience. Based on that, our SMEs can guide you, can give you a personalized study plan that how you should go about it. And when you reach to a point where you need to start taking the mock test and mock questions, we have more than 1,000 questions on our website integrated in our LMS, and you can make use of that. And after the examination, we have the significant number of courses which will help you earn PDUs. So Edureka will be there with you right from the beginning, and it's basically an ongoing relationship that we have. So that's about the ideal preparation time and the high level steps that you need to take up. And important point is, when you take this training through Edureka, you are going to get 24/7 assistance from Edureka, 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You can log in a ticket, you can talk to the support team here, and within a stipulated time frame, your query will be answered or your issues will be resolved. And let me look at this question. And Stephanie is asking, I have worked on several small projects at the same time while working as a assistant project manager. It would be impossible to list all of the projects I worked on the application. How will I be able to document PM experience? Stephanie, PMI has not put any restriction of the number of projects that you have to handle. You might have worked on hundreds of projects, and the objective is to document 4,500 hours of project management experience. Okay. Suppose the duration of the project that you have worked on is very small, 2 days, 3 days, or 4 days, or 5 days. Then of course there would be multiple number of projects that you need to document there. But if that is the case, you actually do not have any option. You will have to go by that way only. Okay, and that's why I'm telling you, PMI has not put any restriction, because sometimes the kind of industry you work in, the kind of work you do, the duration of the project may not be very long. Not necessarily you will have projects coming with the duration of 3 months or 4 months or 5 months, but you can go ahead and document that. What I can do is, what I can help you with is, after this session, you can get in touch with me, and I will provide you an Excel template where you can fill up some of the information about some of the project that you handle, and I'll guide you how to do that. And in case if needed, I'll make some corrections also there for you. Okay. So I hope your query is answered here. If you have any doubt, I'm there for another 5.5 hours, and after that as well. Okay. So this is about your ideal preparation time for the PMP exam. And with this, we move to the next one. I already mentioned that, how Edureka is going to help you in attaining that PMP credential, and also in maintaining that. Edureka has live and interactive online classes. We have all these instructor-led virtual classes, online classes, and we have different schedule. Like some of the people would like to prefer a continuous 4-day session. So we have 4-day session, we have 2 weekend batch, and we have 4 weekend batch as well, where each session is of 4 hours. So in case if you are working on a very critical project, you are not able to pull out all 35 hours, 36 hours in one go, you can split that. In case if you miss any of the session for any reason, you can actually attend any of the future batch, and that too without any additional cost. It's going to be completely free. You can re-attend the class in case if some of the topics were not clear, or you appeared for the examination some time back, and unfortunately the time between your training and the examination has increased from 6 to 8 weeks to, let's say, 1 year or 2 years. After 1 year, if you come back, you can attend any of the batch which is going on at that time for that particular topic without any extra charges. And the biggest advantage of attending an online session is you get access to the recorded session throughout your life. It doesn't come with any validity. So once you do this, once you attend the training, throughout your life, you can access this recording anytime that you want through your learning management system. And you get around 1,000 mock questions and module-wise quiz on our website, on the LMS, 24/7 technical support, post-course support, and also assistance in filling up the application form. Okay, so with this, we have covered our topic, which was introduction to the prerequisites and the formalities of the PMP examination, and talking about the myths and how it works with the PMP.